Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV and welcome to another edition of the Opposition Preview. First things first, guys, this video is brought to you by our friends at BetMate, the home of social betting. With BetMate, you aren't betting against the bookies, you are taking on your mates. One of the most popular games and one that I play is the full-time result. It is a social twist, guys, on an accumulator. Predict 10 results over the weekend. If you get them all right, you win the £3,000 jackpot. But don't worry, guys, if you don't get them all right, you can still win a share of £2,000. To get £5 in free bets when you sign up using cfctvyt. Okay, guys, so £5 in free bets upon sign up using code CFTV5, and the link is in the description. And let's dive into today's video then, people. And on Sunday, Chelsea host Aston Villa at Stamford Bridge, looking for a really important win after one win in the opening 5 games. Villa started the season well, 3 wins and 2 defeats, leaving them 7th in the table so far. And Chelsea are really up against it. So, yeah, to get the Aston Villa viewpoint on this game, I'd like to be joined by Luke from Up the Villa podcast. Mate, welcome to the channel. Thanks for your time. How would you assess Aston Villa's start to the season? Because for me, over the summer, they've done some really good business as well. And I think you've had a solid start.
Yeah, it's been solid, like you say, bit mixed. So it's been a bit, we've had a few games where we've not looked our best, not performed, not been really Unai Emery type performances, which sort of threw us a little bit early on. But, you know, we've had some really good performances where we've looked really good. The shape of the teams looked good. We've dominated games, which for Villa fans over the years, we've not really been doing that. So we're still sort of being able to play possession-based football, which has been really good. But like you say, some disappointing losses and then some really good performances. So, yeah, hopefully we can get back on track to away form, really.
I mean, mate, I was up at Villa Park last season, just under a year ago now, very much towards the end of Steven Gerrard's reign, and things didn't seem to be that good for Villa at that point in time. The atmosphere was not good. Obviously, we won that game. I mean, we probably shouldn't have done, to be honest, but we managed to win that game 2-0. But I mean, Gerrard went and he's replaced by Emery. I mean, in just under a year, how impressed have you been with the impact that Emery's had? And what would you say is kind of the biggest thing that he's changed around the club compared to what was happening under Gerrard?
It's been incredible. I mean, we've very ever rarely had this type of manager. I think he is an elite coach in what he can do, what he can bring. His track record of winning 4 Europa Leagues. I mean, that's no mean feat. And he's managed some fantastic football clubs. So the difference for me, it has been coaching, coaching of our players, improving our players. You saw last season, we went on some fantastic runs. I think our form, we're still in the calendar year form table. We're currently 4th. So that really shows you the job that we've done in sort of like 2023. So yeah, it's just his coaching, his tactics are really, really good. His in-game management's good. He's, being able to identify certain players that we really, really needed, like in key areas, like Moussa Diaby. He's electric. He adds pace, what we didn't have before. We've got a ball playing centre half in Pau Torres, who on the weekend made, I think it was 124 passes, 116 of them were accurate. We had 94% passing accuracy. And, for him to bring that into our side has just been absolutely massive. But, it's his coaching really in improving players and just giving us an identity. And I think the Villa fans have really bought into Emery. And I think because he's sort of brought some success so far that, it's galvanised everybody really.
I mean, I looked at Aston Villa's transfer window. I think you've done some really good business. I mean, you touched on a couple of the players there, but at this early stage in the season, who stood out for you? I mean, obviously Moussa Diaby was kind of a big signing. I think even getting Zaniolo in on loan is good business. Pau Torres, you touched on, Yuri Tielemans as well in the midfield. Which players have stood out for you the most out of the new signings so far?
I think, football fans, you love the exciting, you love goals and assists, don't you? So Diaby's got 2 goals, 2 assists in 5 games. So that return's pretty good. I think he looks really explosive. And like I say, he adds pace to our team, and his decision making's really good. But for me, it's Pau Torres. His ball playing ability at the back is really, really good. So I've been massively impressed with him. Like you say, Zaniolo, I've been impressed with him. He adds a bit more physicality to our midfield, and Tielemans has got that sort of experience as well. So I think all the signings that we made were strategically very clever in our current system, and I think it means that we can tick a little bit better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you've got some key players out injured as well. I guess Pau Torres coming in has kind of helped ease the blow of Tyrone Mings being out for an extended period of time. Of course, it's Villa have done really well. That squad building now is looking good in terms of there's quality, there's depth now, but there's also quality and depth, which when you've got the Conference League to contend with as well, that's going to be really, really important. And I particularly look at the Villa front line. There's a lot of players that can do damage. Ollie Watkins, Bailey, Diaby, Zaniolo. These are all good players. And you've even got Jacob Ramsey as well to come back into the mix also. I mean, obviously Mings and Ramsey are big misses, but is that kind of testament to how good Villa's squad is now, that would you say you're not massively missing them?
Yeah, and I think that's probably where the frustration came with Gerrard. We'd still got quite a lot of those players, and they were massively underperforming. We looked like we didn't know what we're doing. So I think really to the greater football world, we were massively underperforming with the players that we had. And then when you're bringing in a manager like Emery and adding more quality, and then he gets it all sort of working and firing, I think it just comes together. And we probably did surprise a few people last season, and Ramsey's back now. So Ramsey's on the I imagine he's gone to Poland for the Europa Conference game. So I think Ramsey's back. But you touched on the Mings injury, and Buendia's done the same injury as Mings. So those are 2 key players for Villa, and they are out. But at the minute, we're not really missing them because we've still got a good squad. So, it was a massive blow at the start of the season to lose both of them. And, it's a testament to us. We've had to sort of like recover from it because, Mings used to be our captain. In the wider football world, don't really rate him, but for Villa, he's a crucial player for us, and Buendia as well. So, to get Ramsey back, that should be massive as well.
And in terms of expectations for Villa this season, mate, obviously you said Emery came in. He's done really well so far. He got into the Conference League last season, which is fantastic. Villa back in some form of European football for the first time in a while. What are the expectations this season for Aston Villa? What would you say they are?
Kind of align a little bit with Emery's, really. He spoke about what the ambition is of the club. That they really want to win a trophy. That's one of the big things this season, is to go deep in the FA Cup, to go deep in the Conference League, to go deep in the League Cup, and to bring some silverware back to Villa, because we haven't won anything since like 1996, and it's far too long, really. So to win a trophy, but for me, the Premier League's the priority. I want us to qualify for Europe again. Hopefully we could go maybe one better and qualify for the Europa League. And I think, as Villa fans who haven't been in Europe for, a number of years, that to get playing back in Europe consecutively, season on season, mixing it with the big boys in the league, I think that's where Villa really want to be. So I think 6th league-wise would be my aim, and then to win a trophy. I'd take winning the Europa Conference League all day long as well. So, we're still sort of like looking up. We've got massive ambition, really wealthy owners, and we're just trying to strive to be better, basically.
No, absolutely. I mean, even for, like, as you say, when you don't want a trophy for so long, like West Ham, look at West Ham winning the Conference League last season. You must feel as a Villa fan that, like, we've got a decent side. Like, I haven't looked at all the teams in the Conference League, but I'd imagine that this is a pretty serious priority for Villa, and for me, they've got to be one of the favourites to win that competition. Do you think the Conference League is going to be taken very seriously by the club this year? Particularly as well, you can get a Europa League qualification spot by winning that tournament, which could actually be easier than qualifying through the Premier League potentially.
Yeah, I mean, what's massive is we haven't been in Europe since 2010 and we're favourites for the Europa Conference League. So it just feels weird that like we've got no experience in Europe and we're favourites. But I mean, that's just the Premier League team. But yeah, I mean, there's some all right teams in it. And I think, like you say, we've got to really look to try and win it. I think we were 5-0 up against Hibs in the first leg of our playoff game, and the second leg we all thought he was going to rest everyone, and he went full strength. So I think that just says what he's at, how serious he is taking it. So yeah, I mean, I looked at West Ham and. It's a trophy. It's a Europe. Yeah. It's not the Champions League, but it is a European trophy. And I think if you can win it, like you say, get into the Europa League, and maybe you win that, you get into the Champions League. So it is technically, it's kind of a shortcut, isn't it, to getting into those areas? And I think the Premier League this year, Champions League might be getting 5th place as well. So if it all filters down, then, there's more opportunity to try and challenge that way as well.
And in terms of throwing it ahead to the game on Sunday, mate, obviously, as Villa's away form, particularly at the big side, obviously, you won at Burnley, but, heavy defeat at Newcastle, not really in the game at Liverpool. Chelsea, another big club, despite our recent struggles. What do Villa need to do differently to try and get a positive result at Stamford Bridge that you couldn't get at Newcastle and you couldn't get at Anfield?
I think we need to get back to last season. Our away form was really, really good. We were winning games 1-0, 2-1. We were kind of doing a job on teams. So we would go and we would have a real good, solid shape, and we would frustrate the home crowd because we like to play possession-based football. We build from the back at times. We dwell and we wait on the ball. We try and invite you to press us, and then we then sort of couple of passes and we're away then. So we really sort of frustrate the fans on the away days, and we haven't really done that in those 2 Newcastle and Liverpool games. We conceded early against Liverpool, which was just a disaster, and we really didn't play very well. The Newcastle one, when we lost on the opening day 5-1, Mings went down with his ACL, and I just think it was just a disaster from that moment. So I just want us to get back on track, be quite solid really, and just try and grow into the game. And we haven't really done that so far this season. Against Burnley, it was more of like a home performance where we expressed ourselves on the ball, and we just carved them open at will, to be fair. So I think it will be a really difficult game, but I just want to see us really competitive is the main thing for me.
No, absolutely. And just briefly from a Chelsea perspective, mate, obviously you look at our start to the season, it's not been the best, but I mean, what concerns do you have from a Chelsea perspective about this game? I mean, who do you feel could cause some damage to Aston Villa if they're on it?
Well, in the other 2 away games we've played as well, we've played with this high line, which has been a bit of a disaster. So I would imagine we're not going to do that. But if we do, then I'd be very worried about sort of Sterling running in behind, Jackson running in behind, Chilwell down that left-hand side, that you're bombing on. I think that would be a bit of a problem. So it depends if we play that high line. But I think, at home, you said on our episode you found it difficult recently, so I'd just be worried that you're sort of gonna get it together and put in a real good performance. But yeah, I think you're in a bit of a learning curve, aren't you, with the manager, with the players, with the system. I really like Mudryk, to be fair.
No, I
really like him. I don't know. I know he gets a bit of stick on social media, but I think it's got to click somewhere, and he's just going to destroy someone. So hopefully it's not us. But yeah, so I like Mudryk as well.
So yeah, pacing behind if you play the high line would be a big
Yeah,
concern. That's fair enough. I think that's where a lot of our strengths potentially lie as well. That if there is that high line, Enzo Fernandez pinging balls over the top, the pace of Sterling, Mudryk, Cole Palmer, and stuff like that, and obviously Nicholas Jackson, we could cause some issues there. But I do think it's going to be a very, very close game, mate. Just to round out, score prediction for the game on Sunday. What are you thinking? Obviously, you're going to be coming back from the Thursday game in midweek. That could have a bearing potentially, although they're all professional footballers. Shouldn't make too much of a difference. But yeah, what are your thoughts on a score prediction?
It's like my head's saying 1-1, my heart's saying 2-1 Villa, but yeah, I'd really like Villa to get something from this game just to sort of get us back on track for our own sort of vibe away from home, really. But yeah, it's always difficult going to Stamford Bridge anyway. As a Villa fan, we're not really had the best time there in recent years anyway. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, mate, to be fair, I'm not massively confident. I mean, I'm not sure a week's enough time for us to fix our issues in front of goal. So I probably would go with a 1-1 draw as well. Mate, before we go, people want to check out what you guys do. Where's the best place for them to go?
Best place is on YouTube. You type in UTV podcast with fan channel, doing stuff like what yours is doing, to be fair, opposition previews, match previews, fan cams and stuff. So yeah, if anyone wants to show some love, then come over and subscribe.
Yeah, guys, make sure you go and do that. Link will be in the description as well. So please go and check that out. Mate, thanks so much for your time. Guys, make sure you smash a like on the video. Subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV if you're new around here. And leave your thoughts in the comments below as always. And I'll catch you again in another video soon.